Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabiyari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabiyari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Sri Radhe.
Jaya Panchatattva, Jaya Panchatattva, Jaya Panchatattva, Jaya Panchatattva.
Jaya Panchatattva, Jaya Panchatattva, Jaya Panchatattva. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Lord Premanande.
Haribo.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayana Namaskritam Naram Chaivam Naram Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tatvamaya Tassa presa pratreshu nityam vanu sevaya Bhagavati uttamas loke bhakti bhagavati naishyati. Continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, part 2, chapter 22, text number 2 and 3. Apyutyam basi
Pulintyam basi Kalindya Janante Odite Rune Kritva Pakritim Devim Anarchu Nipa Saikatim Gandai Mayai Suravi Dupa Dipakai Uchabachai Gopaharai Kapala Tandulai Aplutyam Bhavavasi Karindya Jalante Kodite Vipa Prakritim Devi Anachur Saikatim Ganda Irmalaya Isura Vivi Dalivi Dupa Dipakai Chaiva Chaiskopaharai Ravala Palatakurai Aplutyam Vasi Kalindya Jalanti Koditerune Vidva Prakritim Devi Arachur Vipasai Katim Ganda Irmalaya Isura Vivi Bali Virdupa Dipakai Chaiva Chaiskopaharai Chaiva Chaiskopaharai Gavala Palatandurai Aplutyam Bhavasi Kalindya Jalante Koditerune Vidva Prakritim Devi Anarchur Vipasai Katim Ganda Irmalya Isura Vivi Bali Virdupa Dipakai Chaiva Chaiskopaharai Ravala Palatandulai
Aplutyam Basi Kalindya Jalante Joditerune Pratikritim Devim Anachur Nirpasai Katim Gadair Malai Suravivir Bali Virdupa Dipakai Java Chaiskopaharai Ravala Palatandulai Aplutyam Basi Kalindya Jalante Joditerune Vidva Prakritim Devi Anachur Vipasai Katim Ganda Irmalaya Isura Vivi Bali Parivindu Padipakai
Baca istighfar alaihi
Uca baca istighfar alaihi
bala bala tandu dari
Bala Landulai.
Thank you. Everyone, Abluja, bathing, Ablusi, in the water, Galinja, of the Yamuna, Jala Ante, on the shore of the river, Cha, and Bodhite, as was arising, Arune, the dawn, Kritva, making, Pratikritin, a deity, Devin, the goddess, Alarchu, they worship, Dripa, all King Pariksit, Saikatin, made of earth, Gandhari, with sandalwood cloth and other fragrant articles, Kalyai, with garlands, Sarabi, fragrant, Valivi, with gifts, Dupadipakai, with incense and lamps, Ucha Avachai, opulent and also simple, Cha and Upaharai, with presentations, Prabhala, newly grown lids, Kala, fruit, Kandulai, and betelnuts. Translation and prepared by Srimad Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. My dear King, after they had bathed in the water of the Yamuna, just as the sun was rising. The gopis made an earthen deity of Goddess Durga on the riverbank. Then they worshipped her with such aromatic substances as sandalwood palms, along with other items both opulent and simple, including lamps, fruits, betelnuts, newly grown leaves, and fragrant garlands and incense. Purport. The word Balivihi in this verse indicates offerings of clothing, ornaments, food, and so on. Om Vidyana Nirandasya Vinanandana Sarakaya Chaksuramritamyena Dasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Tadavaya Vedati Swapadantikam Panchakalpatarudhyasya Vita Sindhu Yenevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasa Nigora Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Please bless me so that I may speak something that could please our Lord and purify all of us. Hare Krishna. So the gopis, we are still on the part where they are worshipping Goddess Durga. With the desire to get Krishna as their husband. And they were offering both opulent and simple things to Mother Durga. But come to think of it, what can we really offer the Lord? He's the owner and proprietor of everything. Right? There's no possibility of offering him anything of this world. But he says, he's very kind on Bhagavad Gita 9.26. Bhadra Pushpam Paratoya Nivedakya Parasyati Dadaham Bhakti Uparitam Astami Pretat Manaha. So if anyone offers him most simple things, food, flour, water, meat, he will accept. But the key is love and devotion. So, the owner and proprietor of everything is so kind that as long as you do something with love and devotion, he will accept it. It doesn't necessarily have to be bodacious or very grand. Those simple things he accepts. It's not actually what you are offering, but in how you offer things that he accepts. Because he can buy a whole garden of roses, but if it's not with love and devotion to offer, a person who offers a simple flower is much more meaningful. So, what the Shastras is telling us is actually all the Shastras, if you squeeze them and get the nectar, the golden rule is to always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. So we always have to push to be on hold. Push is an acronym for pray until something happens. So we have to push to be on hold. Hold is another acronym for home of love and devotion. So push to be on hold, to have a home of love and devotion. Then you will be able to have factories. Anybody wants to have factories? I want to have a factory. A devotee should have a factory of ice here. And a factory of sweets here. This way you always have a cool head and sweet words for everyone. If you have a factory of ice, factory of sweets, then your life will be satisfactory. And everyone's lives around you. I didn't like that one. Will also be satisfactory, right?
Oh, Sati is Durga.
Also connected, right? I heard it from Keshav Maharaj just now. He has a wonderful way of playing with words, and also Prabhu. Because we don't have a lot to go on. The purport is like one paragraph. But one paragraph is enough to go on for hours, especially for the charyas, But if he in the verse indicates offerings of clothing, ornaments, food, and so on. So yes, we can serve the Lord with our very life, our words, our energy, our wealth. Or the 9.27 says, 9.26 is Petrol Krishna. 9.27 says, Yet Yosi, yet Stasi, yet Yosi, yet Stasi, yet that is what I found. So anything and everything can be utilized in the service of the Lord. When you do that, everything that you're doing do it as an offering to him. Speaking of offering, one time there was a king in Rajasthan. His name was J.C. Raj. He's a, if you are familiar, Rajasthan is a very strong nation. Whenever there's trouble, like in Vrindavan, when the Muslims are attacking, they will take the deities and put them to Rajasthan because they are well protected. They are such as they are like incredibly powerful Kshatriyas. So this king, J.C. Raj, is very famous because he is undefeated. No army has ever conquered his nation. But he has a weakness. Every day he would do puja from 7 to 9 in the morning. And at that time, nobody, no buts, no ifs, can disturb him. If you do, then you will be beheaded immediately because you are disturbing his time off with the Lord. So, the Muslim nation found out about this and they have come up with a master plan to attack and charge during the time when the king commanded his army, which is from 7 to 9 in the morning. So they did, they attacked. So the ministers, the generals, there was decision what to do. So they said, we have to be led by the king. But unfortunately, nobody is brave enough to knock on the door and disturb the king. They were pushing each other, no, I'm not going to do it. You do it. No, you do it. So nobody would dare disturb the king because the policy of the king is off with the head. So they were very smart. They decided to call the Mataji of the king. Let's call the Mataji. Surely she will not be beheaded. So they called her and she went and rushed to the puja room. And before she could knock, the door swung open and the king came out. Let me have my sword, as if he knew what was going on. But he was in the puja room, so they were surprised. Wow, the king is all riled up. And he gave him the sword. They gave him the sword, which is about 15 inches. And he went like this. Two of them. It takes half a dozen people to carry one of his sword. That's how powerful this king was. You know how it is, in the cartoons. And then the king positioned his army facing the enemies. And then he told his generals and his lieutenants, stay here until I call on you. And the king attacked the main army of the Muslim and went directly to the Sultanate. Of course, the Sultanate had the most barriers of soldiers surrounding him. But the king, this Raja, went through all the soldiers like hot knife on a butter. Have you seen a hot knife on a butter? Yeah, just like that. So, the king was going like Kalki. He chopped off all these soldiers until he got to the Sultanate. And when he got to the Sultanate, he chopped him off, and he was so strong that he bifurcated him. Then he went back and continued his puja. Without firing a single shot of arrow, the fight was over. And the soldiers were like, both sides, they were like, wow, check that out, that's our king. And the enemies, wow, let's get out of here. That king is super duper powerful. So they ran all over the place and they didn't know where to go. That's how powerful that king was. So he went right back and continued his puja. So the soldiers were just hanging out, waiting for the king to come out. And then 9 a.m. came. The king came out. Get my sword, prepare my horses. We're going to battle. And the general said to the lieutenants, whoa, 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 king, are you having some kind of a flashback? You just killed the entire enemy, they're gone. And the king saw that his horses was having foam. And the horses, when they sweat, they form, not like human beings, their sweat is like a foam. So he said, oh, my horses have been used. My swords are bloody. So the king was wondering, what happened? And then it dawned on him, aha, while I was doing the puja, the Lord was doing the fighting for me. So he realized it was Krishna who did the fighting for him. Wow. So he went back to the puja room and he was disturbed. He said, my Lord, what is this? I have been serving you. I've been doing puja 4237, 4237, 4237. And then what? You give darshan to the villages and you're leaving me here. I've been doing so very nice puja and you're not giving me darshan. You're giving darshan to the enemies and liberating them. Oh, he was lamenting. This is unbearable. I will kill myself, my Lord. So he pulled out his gigantic sword and he was going to stab himself. But he couldn't. Someone grabbed his hand. Let me go. And then he realized, I'm alone in this room. Who could it be? And he heard an answer. Krishna gave him darshan. So, the Lord is actually reciprocating to us according to our surrender. And also, of course, according to our punya. If you are qualified, then yes, directly or indirectly, the Lord is always participating in His devotees' lives. And this is like what you call gravity. Gravity, right? We don't see it. We don't witness its law, but we know that it's active. It's happening. We have gravity. In the same way, the Lord is taking care of His devotees. He's doing things that we are not able to do. He is fighting our fight, indirectly or directly, whether we perceive it or not. He is engaged in our lives, just as we are trying to please Him. And of course, as He says, He reciprocates accordingly. So, and this surrender and our pious points can only be gathered with the simple start of chanting His holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, we got 15 minutes. If anybody wants to share or ask something, I'll try to answer. That's a good story, huh? And a true story, according to Patri Dasguru. It happened in Rajasthan. Yes, Guru.
Trying to share, I could remember.
Okay.
One time I was able to water in Amber Port. Yeah, in Rajasthan. There's a big canyon there actually. Canyon of the king. So the story is
Canyon?
Yeah. A very big gun. It's maybe from there up to here. It's a big size canyon. And maybe 3 sako yata yung bala nun. Para sumabog. Dapat yung mga Muslim doon sa ganun tayo. Tapos pag inattack yung yung whole Rajasthan ng mga Muslim. So yung soldiers na nakasakay sa kabayo, ililitak nila yung land na nasa palibot, diba? May fence, may wall, parang ritual of China. Ililitak nila yung mga lamp doon. Signal yon sa mga tao na yung country is under attack. So totoo yung sinasabi mo, yung full palace, mayroong private room for deity worship or darshan ng king, private darshan kay Krishna. Ganun kapaayos yung king. Tapos mayroon din siyang place na ini-entertain siya, may mga drum, may mga sayawan, gano'n. Tapos mayroon ding may mga guns doon, may mga antique na mga guns. Tapos yung pictures ng palace niya. Diba, nasa taas yung ng bundok yung Amber Fort. Tapos mayroon siyang
no quick access to it, but that's true. Just eye of the mountain.
Tapos tinignan namin yung window doon, yung wall, na nakaharap doon sa in front. Pag nandito ka sa loob ng palace, makikita ng king nandun sa labas. Pero yung tagalabas, pag tinignan siya, hindi na makikita. Na-design yung window na yun na gano'n.
Like
maliit na
one major.
Kita nyo. Kung nandun siya nakadikit sa wall, hindi siya nakikita ng kalaban. Hindi nakikita mo siya. Tapos mayroon pa nung taniman na parang like saffron na lake.
Saffron lake.
Pink City yung Pink City yung Rajasthan.
So, known as Pink City.
Pink City. Tapos yung Radha Govinda deities, kung saan sila doon din. Ay, mga deities doon. Radha Gopinath.
Yes. Many of the deities in Vrindavan were transported there for safety.
Malalakas. Samadhi din ng mga kings at sa mga prinsipe. Yung descendant ng kings, may mga samadhi doon, mga 14 yata kasi may mga epidemic ng mga sakit ng araw mga prinsipe namamatay sila, yung samadhi din nila. Saka yung king, yung mga 14 na prinsipe ko. 3 days siguro kami doon. Tapos, yung mga tali, yung kinakain ng king, may restaurant din doon na ang kinakain ng king at that particular time, yung mga sabji, mga spinach sabji, mga gano'n. Doon sa restaurant na yun, matitikman mo doon. Yung na yun, mga sabji. Matitikman mo.
Nice.
Yung galing mo doon. Tapos makikita mo yung culture. Yung king nakaupo doon, tapos yung plate may tali. Gano'n. Yung mga ministers niya, mga chieftains niya, nakahilira kasama siya. Kasi iba rin doon sa matatin sa queen ay mga servant. Galing na naman doon sa Amber Fort, sa Rajasthan. Talaga akyat ka doon sa palace. Makikita mo yung mga...
One day, we should visit that place.
Amber Fort.
Amber Fort. You been there from?
Amber Fort, Rajasthan.
Someday. Thank you for sharing that. It's something that we should aspire for, to visit historical places, not just for history's sake, but also to try and emulate the spirit of their service to the Lord. I mean, they are not kings who are just enjoying themselves and not caring for who providing them everything, but they are kings who are saintly. And it's amazing. Just like the story in the Mahabharata, the Pandavas, and the pious kings there, they are, in their hearts and their mind, they know that they are not the provider of everything, but only a custodian, or they are only temporary caretakers. Just as in Orissa, whenever Lord Jagannath would come out of the temple, the king would be the one to sweep in front of the deities, which signifies that I am only a king, when the Lord is not around as his stewardess. But when the king is around, my real job is to street sweeper. This is a sign of being humble and surrender to the Lord. And the saintly kings are giving us these examples. Okay. Anybody else? Go ahead. Deal with it. Okay. Fire away.
So, last pandemic, hindi sa India pa po, yung mga Indios, nagtutraw sila ng mga DP sa river. Kasi daw, ang reason daw nun is, hindi daw sila na-protect, hindi na, yung mga dito, hindi na protect. Hindi nila na-protect yung sarili nila. Beyond sa duties, kaya natin yung mga dito. Fitness.
So what's that? You heard the fake news?
Balita yun.
Anong ginawa? They threw away the deities? Then what do you think that tells about the people? If you do that to the deity, offense.
We lost their faith.
They lost. Yes. A lot of things like this have happened even before this pandemic. In World War II, the soldiers of the Allied forces, they're praying to God. But the German armies, they're also praying to God. When the war ended, when the Allied forces won, it created a lot of disbelief in God because they think that God did not hear them. Again, because of misconception that God is your order provider, that He's some kind of your waiter that you order something and He will provide it to you. And Srila Prabhupada said this is a cheating religion. God is not your waiter. He's not your order provider. You are the one who's supposed to do something for your Lord. Or as if John F. Kennedy said in his State of the Nation address, ask not what your country can do for you, but ask yourself what you can do for the country. In the same way, ask not what Krishna can do for you, but ask yourself what you can do for the Lord. We come to the temple in the spirit of not just taking or accepting, thinking that we deserve this, I want this, I want that. But we should also be in the mood of giving. I have to give something to the Lord. I have to give my time, my energy, my sweet words, whatever it is that you can contribute for Krishna consciousness. And this is the perfection of human life. Another? Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Nowadays, yung mga deities ngayon, yun, biyaya ng it's like Jesus, diba? Yung mga tao, ginagawa nila mga toys, yung mga laruan ba? Yun sa mga posts na yan ang drawing, naglalaroan nila ba? Naglalaroan nila, ginagawa toys sa toys.
So, there are people who are making deities into like toys, action figure.
Yeah.
Jesus versus Batman.
Really? Well, if Even during the time of Jesus, he already said to the Father, Krishna, forgive them, Father, for they not know what they do. They don't know what they're doing.
At least, sorry.
Right.
At least they have this. There might we have an impression that this Jesus Christ is more because this guy, Son of God, he was more stronger than Batman. Maybe that they have this conception in mind that this is God. This is more, but just like we have also Krishna as a toy also in Vrindavan. Yeah, but more in Vrindavan is they worship that kind of. Not like what we have said is that Batman and Jesus Christ they're trying to make a match of fighting with him. For sure, Jesus Christ will win over Batman because this is God. But that's not you.
No. You are always seeing the bright side. Thank you. I always look at the bright side. Cool. Instead of seeing the wrong, you see what is can be salvaged of that situation. Srila Prabhupada was also like this. He was more into encouraging people than just seeing their negative sides. Srila Prabhupada is a leader by example. He is the lesson himself. Srila Prabhupada said, I am my lecture. Because he did not just say one thing and do a different thing. He is what he is preaching. He is a teacher by example. That's why founder Acharya. And nobody is qualified to be next to him. Not yet. Someday maybe, we don't know. But yes, that's a very good quality of seeing the good things in people and not criticizing them and looking at the negatives. But instead, try to encourage them. Okay. Yes, bro.
Makabil ka ng lado doon na makapasad ni Dada Govinda. Pumunta ka sa Jaipur. Yung mga lado sila na mura. Sweets. Tapos doon doon din sa Amberport, ang parang cool place, resting place ng ito. Nakikita mo yung mga pillars, mga walls. It is laid in with some precious stone or some mirrors in there. Maraming mga mirrors na maliit-liit ng pira-piraso na nakadikit-dikit sa wall at sa pillars na pag tiningnan mo tapos libre sa taas. Ganun din. So pag nailawan ka yun, maliwanag yung
illuminates the room.
Tapos mayroon pang mga remnants ng mga single shot ng mga baril na hindi kakaba. Parang nilagay nila doon sa daanan. Pero naka glass case na siya. Makita mo yung mga baril that being used in the war against Muslims.
Right.
Mahaba pa na, mahaba ng mga single shots.
The old version of 50 calibers. Old version.
Dami mga baril. Pag pupunta ka na sa palace, dadaanan mo yun, naka-glass case. Dami mga baril doon.
Yung long rifles.
Yeah, long rifles single shot.
The old version of 50 calibers. The only caliber that can bring down
50 calibers, old version yun?
Could be. 50 caliber is the only one that can hit airplane from ground to air. That's how powerful the weapon is. So I guess they have that old version, but
mahaba yun. Yari pa ba yun kay single shot na yung kasi mahaba.
Even if you're not directly hit, even if it's just you get winged by it, you'd be knocked off from the horse and die of hitting your head or being trampled by other horses. Yeah. So war has been going on even then until now. And in the devotees, there's also war going on in his mind. Just like, okay, go ahead.
Part din sa fort na yun. Mayroong place na doon ina-assemble yung mga soldiers. May place doon na malapad eh.
Garrison.
Doon na yung mga soldier na assemble pag may gera. Doon. May entertainment, may mga sa soldier, may pasada, may sa
Before they are sent to war.
Kumplito doon. Grabe.
Before the soldiers are sent to war, they will be given a speech and they will be blessed by the priest. This makes their faith stronger, then it makes them more, fired up. And they prepare to surrender their life to the nation. You know that? You got something else?
Ayun yung temple sa India, 10,000. India.
Come again?
India, ilang temple.
How many?
Vrindavan is 10,000.
Before, whenever you do parikrama on Vrindavan, you are circumambulating 5,000 temples. But now it's multiplied more than that. So if you go there and you do the parikrama with about 2.5 hours, you're circumambulating thousands of temples. So you will get hips and hips of pious minds. The next night, you'll be a covered boy. Okay, we're gonna wrap up. Thank you for tolerating me. Please forgive me for my offenses. Granted, Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Prabhu Seva ki.
Srila Prabhupada ki.
Jai, covered boys, gawin makikita ni Lord Gama.